Doctor, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Tanya, for having me here today.
Thank you for your time too, Doctor.
Yeah.
Doctor, you are a gynecologist by profession. Maybe you're practicing for the last 28 years?
28 years, yes.
Okay, but then you are a very passionate blogger now.
The thing is that I started writing with another idea in my mind,
Okay.
which I haven't reached yet. So I am passionate, but I haven't reached my goal yet.
Okay.
So my whole idea was to write about food and what food does to your body
Okay.
in terms of how it can reduce inflammation if you use it correctly and how it can cause diseases if you don't use it correctly.
Okay.
So that was my whole idea when I started.
Okay.
But I love going for events and I love learning new things.
Okay.
So that's the reason why I started writing about other things too,
Okay.
along with that, like beauty and other lifestyle things.
Okay. You blog about those things as well, apart
Yes.
from food.
Yes, I do.
Okay. So how was your food journey all began?
It began with a problem that I had about 6 years back.
Okay.
I actually lost my father that time,
Okay.
and that triggered a huge problem. Maybe it was stress that started off my medical problems.
Okay. Okay.
And at that point, I realized that I cannot really treat myself, even if I am on medication.
Okay.
And I realized that there was something else happening to me, which got better as I changed the way I was eating and the way I looked at how food was treating my body.
Okay. Okay.
And I was able to overcome a few of my inflammatory problems.
Okay.
Of course, I'm not completely good even now,
Okay.
but
then to an extent, you have overcome all those things.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that is how you started your
That's
food
how I
journey.
started. And then I said, I must take it forward. Being a medical doctor, I'm writing, I'm treating patients and writing prescriptions on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So I look at this whole thing differently now.
Okay.
I don't want to write only prescriptions. I want to teach people how to not get the disease or how to
Exactly.
treat it by as a supplement, to use food along with medicine.
Okay.
And also I really believe in preventive medicine. So I think I can be a good doctor if I can prevent diseases.
Okay. It's better. Prevention is always better
Better.
than curing it later.
Yes, I don't think you should have the disease and then start curing it. You should aim at trying to prevent it in the beginning.
Okay. So you're basically a gynecologist.
Yes.
So definitely you'll be meeting only women in most cases.
No, I meet men too.
Men too. Okay.
A lot of men who come with their wives and some of them don't turn up at all. Yes, so.
Yes. No, I mean to say as patients.
As patients, yes.
So you are meeting only women.
Yes.
So apart from those normal medications or the routine medications, what all you suggest for your patients, like, for a healthy diet or a healthy lifestyle? What all you suggest?
Okay, so I sort of tell them that it is important that they should not be eating any kind of processed food. That's the first thing.
Okay.
And of course, sugars in a huge amount.
Yeah.
Because processed food and sugars are the basis of inflammation, and that is the basis of all diseases.
Okay.
So that's what I recommend to patients. I don't directly tell them to completely go off it, because that's something that nobody can do.
Yeah.
And when we are told not to do a certain thing, we would actually not be able to fulfill everything we want to do via that. So it's a good balance that I advocate. I tell them that make sure that you're eating most of the time healthy, and then once in a while you can go and eat whatever you like, but in moderation. So those are the principles that you need to follow.
Okay. Especially in this part of world, we are fighting so much against infertility and obesity, and all these
Yes.
things are very common nowadays, right?
Yes.
Not compared to our younger days. We are not hearing all these things, but it's very common now. What is your call on that?
Obesity has become a major problem all over the world because of the way the food industry has actually put everything on the shelves for people to get easily.
Yes.
And yes, our grandmothers and in the olden days, we would cook our food. And now people are sort of recognizing that and coming back to eating local, cooking themselves. Okay, that all makes a huge difference rather than getting ready things off the shelf.
Exactly.
And also, I don't completely advocate organic things for the name of organic.
Exactly.
Because you need to actually know which farm the products are coming from, and their practices and policies that they are following, and not only go by the certification that has been given. So it's a good idea to invest a little bit of your time in finding out what you're putting into your body.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this could be a reason for this increased infertility rates
Yes,
and all.
infertility because of, let's say, if you're talking about polycystic ovaries and you're talking about thyroid problems and other things, yeah, then I do believe that food has a role to play in all of those.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you manage your time? Because I know you are in complete practice, right?
Yes, I
So how do
practice
you manage your
completely.
time between this and your passion
So
and
I
profession?
work at 2 clinics,
Okay.
and they're part of the same group.
Okay.
And I do a full-time job. So I'm working at Globe Health Clinics,
Okay.
and whatever free time I get, I go and sort of read up and go and attend events that I think will enrich me in knowledge that I want about it. Also, I attend a lot of events just for fun. It's a fun thing. We have a set of friends who meet that way. And I take out time. I take out time for all of it because it actually makes me feel much happier to go back to work again.
So how you have participated in numerous cookery shows and competitions, and you have won numerous titles I could read from the thing. So how was that and all this competitions?
So about 3 years back, three and a half years back, when I started blogging, that's the time I took part in a few competitions and I won those. And when I won that, I was so shocked because I was never a person who would cook at home.
Okay.
When I was younger and I was studying, my mother has pampered me, and my sisters were excellent cooks.
Okay.
And I never had to bother with cooking. And if my mother even said that you should learn to cook, I used to tell her, it's okay, I will eat something. You know, she used to tell me not because I need to feed anybody, but she said, if you feel like eating something, you need to know how to make it.
Exactly, yeah.
And she was very right. But I used to tell her, don't worry, it'll be available in the market. I'll pick it up from wherever I get it. Everything changed when I had my son. I had my son really late in my marriage. And when I realized he started eating normal foods, I realized I don't want to be giving him things that me and my husband were eating from outside. So I started experimenting at that time. I used to do a little bit of cooking before that, but I was interested in things like fancy cooking. I was not interested in regular home cooking. Okay. So I would do Italian food. I'd done baking, all that. I love doing baking. Even now I do a lot of baking. So later when I came here, I started really, when I realized that I've, in this competition, when the black box opens, it's like a MasterChef black box. It's just that my creative side comes out over there, and I want to make something that is completely not normal. It's not the normal thing that I want to do. And I actually won a few of the competitions based on those. And that sort of pushed me forward to take part in more. And then one thing led to another, and I went on to TV shows, and it was really, it really made me feel very, very nice. And then I realized that I can also include whatever I know about food through this medium.
Yeah, exactly.
And bring it forward to other people. So I even took part in 2015. I took part in Hershey's Bake Off. There were multiple Bake Offs at that time, and I went up to the finals, and I won the first runner-up over there. And then in 2016, I was on Food Shala, and that was also a huge. Sort of, I never thought I'd come on a TV show, and I went up to, I was one of the semi-finalists in the top 3. And yeah, so it sort of just gave me impetus, or rather made me bolder to go and try new things.
So what is your signature dish? I should be asking this now.
I really don't have a signature dish because even when I cook at home, I'm experimenting all the time. But I do make lasagnas. I love Italian food. And I have actually learned to cook more of the Maharashtrian style of cooking because my husband enjoys that a lot. So he's a Maharashtrian. So if you say signature now, yes, I make a I think I make a very good prawn curry.
Prawns. Okay. Okay.
So that is one of them. And I also make a fried mushroom, like a rava fried mushroom,
Okay.
which is so much like a fried fish,
Okay.
similar to that.
Okay.
So I love doing that. I find my comfort level in doing that kind of cooking because I know I've done it so many times that
Okay. Are you into any kind of fusions or experimenting with two or three types of cuisines?
absolutely.
Yeah. So what is that like? What have you tried?
So again, I think I would credit my husband for that because he doesn't like he is more towards Indian food.
Okay.
So then we try sometimes to do pasta with Indian masalas.
Okay.
Though he doesn't eat it, my son eats that.
Okay.
And then Gujarati food. There's that because I'm Gujarati.
Okay.
So yeah, I experiment with the dals and but I think Gujarati food should be made as it is, and it if we try to make it in fusion, we are losing the essence of that.
Okay. Okay.
But I try to put together Punjabi, Gujarati, flavors together and make it that way.
You might have experimented like various cuisines and you might have tasted various cuisines. So, in your opinion, which cuisine you think is the healthiest?
If you go by ingredients used, Mediterranean cuisine is very healthy.
Okay.
And if I'm talking about Indian food, I think we have the most balanced meals
Okay.
in terms of our thalis that we put together. We have carbohydrates, proteins, fats, all put out balanced.
Okay.
But we tend to add, depending on different areas from where we are coming,
Okay.
we tend to add sweets and fried and other things to it.
Okay.
And that's where probably on a daily basis, if we have to do that, we go wrong over there.
Exactly.
So if we are eating our balanced regular meals of roti, sabji, dal and rice, then I think nothing beats our Indian food.
Okay. But then everyone is now behind this kind of cutting the carbohydrates, cutting the rice. Everyone is now a little bit conscious about this weight and weight management and all these things and diets and all. But then we have I don't know whether it's a misunderstanding or a stigma that rice causes weight gain. Is there anything true in that?
No, I don't think it's true. It causes weight gain. Any food would cause weight gain if you ate in a large quantity.
Okay.
Many people seem to think fruit is also healthy, but whatever fruit you eat actually is just sugar in the body. It goes in as sugar.
Okay.
Then it depends on which fruit you're choosing, whether you want to choose something with more fiber in it or you want to choose something that's more pulpy in terms of the sugar content in it. But every fruit is healthy by itself. Then depending on if you're eating like a whole plate of different fruits on it, that's not really health.
Okay.
I mean, it's not giving you, if you think you're being good by doing that, then you're creating problems by doing that.
So that is a wise choice is what and the correct
You need
proportion.
to be moderate
Okay.
and you need to, so it's a correct proportion as you
Correct
said,
proportion, yeah.
and you need to make your choices also correctly.
Okay.
And then of course, every individual, you can't generalize this for everyone.
Okay.
Every individual has to see how food treats themselves.
Okay.
So if you have certain problems, like if you have inflammatory problems or if you have, let's say if you have diseases that you need to take care of, then your choice and your amounts that you're eating, everything changes along with it.
Okay. Okay.
So it has to be according to each individual.
And what about the benefits of green tea? Nowadays, we can see so much about green tea. Antioxidants are rich and, prevents aging and helps weight loss.
Yes, it
What is
definitely.
the fact behind that?
Okay, I believe green tea is really good,
Okay.
but again in moderation because it's not without caffeine.
Okay.
So if you're having 1 cup of green tea a day, it really helps.
Okay. And without sugar.
Without sugar.
If you put sugar, the purpose is killed.
No, I won't say that. If you're eating sugar in moderation again,
Okay.
it is good for you. It's anything. If you eat something and at the same time you are feeling unhappy about eating it, you're creating more problems in your body than anything else. So let's say you're eating everything healthy, but in your mind you're thinking, I'm on a diet, I don't like this. Your body is not going to digest that and assimilate it correctly.
Okay.
So I think if you eat a small amount of food that is recognized as not healthy by others and you enjoy it, it would sort of be accepted by your body better.
Okay, okay.
So my recommendation, I also believe that being mindful about what you're eating and how you eat it, how you chew your food, everything makes a
Okay. And
difference.
there is a time, like, how much you have to chew your food and how
Yeah,
slow
to
you should be
satisfy
eating. And
yourself, and also because your digestion starts from your mouth. So if you don't chew your food properly, you're not actually, when you eat properly, when you chew it properly, you're sending signals to the rest of your digestive tract
okay,
to make it ready for to accept that food by releasing the correct enzymes
okay,
and hormones to accept it and to digest it better.
okay, okay.
And some foods are digested in the mouth.
Ah, okay,
So it's absolutely, if you just swallow your food, you're sending in particles inside which are not going to do any good to you.
okay. We are talking about this sugar-rich foods and all. Now we have the trend of using this what you call natural sugars or steviana leaves
Yeah.
or like brown sugar. There are so many varieties available, like non-sugar things,
Yeah.
sweeteners basically we can say.
Yeah.
Is it really good for your body?
I wouldn't recommend any chemical sweeteners.
Okay,
None.
okay,
Because they cause damage to your I always tell everyone, I tell all my patients that God has given you only one liver, and your liver has to take out all the toxins in your body along with the kidney, but the liver
okay,
plays a huge role in doing that.
okay,
The more chemicals you put in, your liver has to work extra to do
okay,
that.
okay,
So at one point, and if your gut is also not working properly, because I believe in that the gut is important, your gut health is important.
okay,
So if that's also not working properly, then toxins build up in your body, and that's when problems come in.
okay,
Inflammation starts off, and there are other problems that come in with that.
okay. So it's better to have the proper sugar than the artificial sweeteners
Yes,
in little bit
in
amount.
small amount,
Okay,
definitely.
okay. You are too much into these breast cancer awareness programs and
Yeah.
things like that. Can you tell us about your programs like
Okay,
that?
so ever since I was in Mumbai, and before I moved here, I used to do a lot of awareness programs for different things like breast cancer or cervical cancer, or even osteoporosis and menopause.
Okay.
Okay, menopause was a huge interest of my interest at that time.
Okay.
And it continued over here. When I came here, I was talking with the company I was uh, with their corporate clients and things like that, and we were promoting this.
Okay.
Then later on, when food started to become a huge thing for me,
Okay.
I realized that I need to actually, it's not only about telling people how to examine your breasts or how to be aware of breast cancer, and I actually tell them about how you can reduce your risk for cancer,
Okay.
whether it is breast or any other,
Okay.
with what you're choosing to eat.
Okay.
So for that, since 2 years, I've been doing a pink cooking challenge.
Okay.
Uh, the idea of doing this challenge is that I invite people to come with their healthy pink stories on a plate.
Okay.
The thing is not to make a pink dish.
Okay.
I want them to think in a healthy way.
Okay. Okay.
And I don't even want them to completely go crazy about, health and about using only healthy products and things like that.
Okay. Okay.
So what I do is it actually see, I give a lot of importance to housewives.
Okay.
People seem to think they are housewives, so they don't have any importance in life. But no, they are doing a huge service by looking after their home and looking after their family
It should be the
and
highly
children.
paid job,
And it
right?
should be a very highly paid job. Yeah, but I think when your children come and hug you and your children tell you that what you made today is excellent, I think that satisfaction that comes doesn't come out of anything else. It's like a similar thing that I feel when I would deliver a patient and that baby cries when the baby is born.
Okay.
The satisfaction I feel at that time, or when the patient comes and tells you that, doctor, you have really been a lucky charm for me, or or would sort of hug you and tell you that thank you so much for this.
Okay.
That is, according to me, it is more payment than getting paid.
Okay.
So, like I was saying, if these women could be given importance, so by doing this, I want regular women who are excellent cooks at home to come and showcase what they can do. and at the same time take away what I am talking over there,
Okay.
to be able to adapt it in their lives and help their families to reduce disease.
Doctor, we'll take a small break and
Yeah.
we'll talk more about the pink cooking challenge after the break.
Yeah.
So, ഒരു ചെറിയ ബ്രേക്ക് ആണ്. ബ്രേക്കിന് ശേഷം നമുക്ക് വീണ്ടും
Women's.
Doctor, we were talking about the pink challenge, what you are conducting, the pink cooking challenge. So,
Yeah.
you can give us more details about that.
Yeah, so in October, every year, since 2 years, I have been doing an event where we invite women to come and, as I said, bring their dishes. And I also invite regular chefs, okay, to do the judging, because I don't want to do the judging for most of the people who I know.
Okay.
So we give out prizes. We have a talk where I talk about breast cancer, examination for breasts and other things. And of course about how to use food in your diet to make it better. And besides that, it's just a fun morning or an evening, because we look for venues that will sponsor it, because we don't charge the women anything for this. It's completely free of cost, and there are people who come on board with us who sort of co-sponsor it, just so that they would give us something for our goodie bags for all the women. So that's how we conduct it. The idea of this whole thing is to make women feel really important, that they're making a dish and bringing it. It is tasted and they feel that they did something other than their routine. It's appreciation in a way. And besides that, we also give out prizes. So people really feel happy about it. And I'm very fortunate to have certain people who come on board with me, who have even jewelry people who have been really kind to give away prizes and things like that. So I'm looking for something this time also, and we will be doing something. And this time I'm trying to do something little different, where yes, I would want a breast cancer survivor also to talk to women, but it's not only about breast cancer per se. We do it in October because that's the month when a lot of people are actually listening to what people are saying about taking care of yourself. But in the clinic, we provide these services on a regular basis. I would examine every patient who came to me, from breast to gynecological examination. It would not only be for their complaints. And even in October at our clinic, we offer free breast examinations to everyone who comes. So even if a person just wants to come for a breast examination and nothing else, it's free of cost.
That's a very
So we did that last year also and the year before also. So that's what we have been doing.
Doctor, why this rate, comparatively the rate is increasing, I believe, the breast cancer affecting people rate. What could be the possible reasons of this?
Okay, so besides genetics plays a very small role in this whole thing, though it definitely has a role to play. But there are environmental causes, there are the chemicals that you use, food, everything plays a role together. And without going into too many details, I would like to say that if you have a body that is hyperestrogenic, you're more at risk to get certain diseases like breast diseases and like fibroids, and people who get premenstrual syndrome, people who have mood swings, people who have fibroids, people who have polyps, they are all basically hyperestrogenic. And these women need to be a little more careful or change their diets a little bit to help them with, helping them prevent the disease.
How can you, if you can share with our viewers?
Yeah, the chemicals particularly, which I was talking about, they are all over in your life. So you have to actually make lifestyle changes. it starts from the detergent you use in your kitchen, to the cleaning agents you're using, to the makeup that you're putting on your face, to the creams that you use on your body. Everything that has chemicals in it plays a role, and then you have to become more conscious and use certain products that don't have these chemicals in them. So if you can choose your products with care, that also matters. Also, cleaning at home and what detergents you're using in your washing machine. The more fragrance the detergents are, the more likely they are to be causing harm. So, because the fragrances that are used are carcinogenic partially. So you need to look at all that. So when I talk of making a lifestyle change, you need to recognize everything, and you can slowly clean out everything. You can't do everything overnight. Even I've not been able to adapt this completely to my life, though I talk about it. So you can do it one at a time. Maybe you can make one change at a time and then keep sticking on to that change. And it definitely makes a difference. Because I think when you have large goals, you need to take smaller steps to get over there. And it's like, when you want to lose weight, if I say I need to lose 20 kilos, I cannot lose it because I'm looking at the scale all the time and I'm telling myself, this is not going, this is not going. When that negativity itself is causing a bad effect on my body. So I think if we say 2 kilos and then move forward to another 2 kilos, I think it would matter. So the same way, maybe we can say that I'll make natural detergents and use that. Let's say if you're just cleaning your house, you can use lemon and you can use vinegar and you can use soda bicarb to clean your house. Just start with one thing at a time. Or if you're eating, in your eating habits, I would say just cut off processed. So if you're cutting off processed, you're cutting off everything that comes out of a can and a packet. And that alone can make a difference. So you can't do everything at one time. It has to be done slowly.
When you're talking about fragrances, suddenly it came to my mind that we ladies, we can't live without fragrances, right? So all of us are, addicted to fragrances and body sprays and body mist and all these things. I believe that is also causing a problem.
Yes, it does cause a problem. But as I said, everything is about balance. It's not like I don't use it. Even I love perfume. But I know that it causes a problem. So, you use it in small quantities. Be careful about it.
Should we avoid to spray it directly to the body?
Yes. Ideally, you should. Also, when we spray it in the breast area, some of us, where your pulse points are, I would not recommend that. Use it on your clothes. Many people say don't spray on your clothes because it forms stains. But imagine what your body is absorbing. And then your body is absorbing through your clothes too. So when I talk about detergents that you use for washing, they leave behind a lot of chemicals in your clothes and they get absorbed. So you need to be careful about all that.
And regarding this personal care products, again, like we can't live without creams and all these things. So while checking out the ingredients, what all chemicals we have to look for?
You have to be careful that there are no parabens in them. No. So it's parabens. It will be written, definitely. And fragrances, and also in foods and products, you look at anything that has numbers on it. Some things will be described as numbers. And also the less quantity of ingredients, the better the product. The more quantity of ingredients, the more complicated it gets. So anything with numbers on it is definitely more chemicals. Sometimes you'll have flavoring agents and you'll have, so they'll be written as numbers. And I just want to say something. The food industry allows allows you, the people who package this and who sell it, to not mention it on the packaging till a certain quantity is used. So I just want people to be aware that sometimes things are not even written there, but there could be chemicals in those also. So
we have to be
just to give you a heads up on it. And when I started off with this whole thing, my whole idea was that I should pass this forward to my son, because I don't want him to have the same complications I've had in my life with my body. So even if I could teach the teenagers, I believe teenagers are our future. So small kids will listen to you. Their mothers have, I believe me, mothers of smaller children have it much, much easier than mothers of teenagers.
Okay, okay.
But teenagers have to take responsibility on themselves to learn cooking, to learn to recognize
What is good?
what is good. Okay, I will never put the word healthy. Healthy is used very broadly, but you have to see what's good for you
Okay.
and how it's being sold and how it's being produced and given to you.
Okay.
And if teenagers can recognize that and make the change in their lives, then they can pass it forward to the next generations to come. So my whole idea of my blog originally was to make this information available to teenagers, to be able to teach them what to do.
Okay.
And I think slowly I will get there. I don't get enough time. Like you said, how do I take out time for everything? Yeah, I have actually sidelined my blog a little bit. I'm not writing as much of what I want to write.
Okay.
But it is there and I will do it. I think at some point I will get there.
We are looking forward to that. Apart from all this, medical terms and all these things, you are a certified art and craft teacher.
Yes.
What is it all about? It's another face of you, I believe.
Absolutely. Okay, so creating anything, creativity is something that really excites me.
Okay.
Okay, so I would be interested in interior decorating also. I would be interested in anything where I can sort of create something new. And I was not a very good art person, but I do a lot of crafts. And I'm very happy to be putting together things and making new things.
Okay.
When I was younger, it all started with making just, gift, greeting cards.
Okay.
Every Diwali, we would make it at home. I'm talking of when I was in school, okay?
Okay.
But I would like to do that. Then later on in when we got married, there were so many things that we did for our marriage, all of us, which we made by hand.
Oh, okay.
So whether we gave away, there were certain like our mehndi cards and things like that. We created all that by hand.
Okay.
The idea was just that it gives me a lot of pleasure even today to write something by hand and to create it when I take it for somebody also.
Yeah.
So when I had my son, I reduced my work a little bit. I didn't stop working completely, but I reduced it a little bit and I had a little time. So I went back, I was sitting at home with my child and I went back to doing all these things. So at that point, I was making, it was only for the family and for my son and that kind of thing. Every birthday party, I would create a whole birthday kit.
Okay, okay.
Where I would do right from the labels that we gave the children to the back gifts. Everything was made by me at home.
Okay.
And it was so well accepted and it was something different. It was not the normal thing that was available in the market. So that was another thing. And from that, some people told me, okay, why don't you take orders?
Okay.
So I took orders and my husband and my father could never understand what I was doing. But that was just giving me a lot of happiness more than anything else. And then I did a course with Fevicryl.
Okay.
A 1-year course, which I went like once a week to do. And I became a certified art and craft teacher. And that actually gave me an insight into multiple art and craft forms.
Okay.
So it was not just one thing that I was doing. I did decoupage, I did, it was glass painting. It was multiple things.
Okay.
And
Dr. Sorry to interrupt
no, not
in
at all.
between. Actually, we are close towards our time.
Okay.
So thank you so much for having me here, and it was really nice. I really wanted to talk more to you, but then we have the time limitation.
No, thank you
so
for
much.
having me, and I really enjoyed this time.
Thank
that
you
was
so
here.
much.
Thank you.